Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we can discuss about OET writing. Everyone is telling OET writing is tough, but I am telling OET writing is easy. Watch my video and decide whether it is tough or easy. So before watching my video, I am requesting you people to get pen and book so that you can use it for further reference. Okay, we can start OET writing what it is. Okay, see here we have one case note. Okay, so we have one case note like this. We'll take in detail later. Okay, so for for this case note we have 45 minutes for writing. Okay, so these 45 minutes divided into two. 5 minutes plus 40 minutes. That means 5 minutes we have reading time. We can't touch with pen or pencil. We can't underline that case note. Just we can read for 5 minutes. Then we have 40 minutes for writing the letter. Okay, so total 45 minutes. Okay, so here we can start with one example so that you will get idea what is OET writing, what is the letter. Okay, so one patient got an accident. He admitted to hospital under orthopedic surgeon. He got fracture, the surgery was done. Okay, during post-operative period, patient is complaining about severe vomiting and headache. So due to that reason, the orthopedic surgeon writing reference to neurologist for treating vomiting and headache, not for treating fracture. Okay, next the neurologist reference got over. So after that, the same surgeon will come to know that the patient has some mobility issue. So due to that reason, the same patient he is writing reference to physiotherapist in order to improve his mobility. So the physiotherapist, they will come and they have given the services also. So after that, due to an accident and due to an operation, he lost many bleeding. Okay, so due to that reason, to get the supplementation, dietary supplementation, the same surgeon writing reference to dietitian in order to get nutritious food. See here, after that the patient got discharged. Okay, see here, one patient, 4 members treated. Orthopedic surgeon, neurologist, physiotherapist and dietitian. From admission to till discharge, who all are treated, that everything, all information they are writing in the case note. Okay, so this is about the short information about case note. Okay, so come to case note. I will tell you what all contents included in one case note. Okay, so in the case note, in which hospital the patient got admitted, and in that hospital what is our role, whether we are charge nurse, in charge nurse, registered nurse or head nurse, they will be mentioning our role. Okay, after that, patient details, patient name, age, date of birth, his hobbies, habits and address. Okay, so after that, medical history, that means whether the patient is suffering with any disease condition, that whether it is ongoing disease condition or it was past, or whether he underwent any surgery. Okay, whether he is taking any ongoing medications, everything they are mentioning under medical history. After that, social history. Okay, in that social history, whether the patient is married or whether widow or single, whether he has any children. Okay, this all mentioning under social history. So under the social history, family history also they are mentioning, like whether the family members are suffering with any disease condition. Okay, whether the family members are staying with him or whether the patient is alone. Okay, it is under social history. After that, presenting complaints. That means with what complaints patient got admitted to hospital. That is the present complaints. After that, they will be mentioning some date. So under the date, what treatment they have given in that particular date, that they are mentioning. Maybe the patient underwent surgery, then medication given, dressing done. That means from admission to till discharge, what all treatment they have given. So date by date they are mentioning one by one. Okay, so after that, nursing management, what all care the nurse given, that they are mentioning under the nursing management. So down the discharge plan. Discharge plan means, so we can see in our discharge summary, patient discharge summary, down they are mentioning what all treatment we need to continue after the discharge. That is the discharge plan. That means we can tell like recommendation, what we need to do after the discharge, whether we need to continue the dressing or which medicines we need to give, whether need to continue the physiotherapy services, which diet we need to give, everything they are mentioning under the discharge plan. That means after the discharge, what all care or treatment we need to continue, that they are writing under the discharge plan. Okay, after the discharge plan, at last they are mentioning like writing task. So writing task means which type of letter this is and to whom we are writing and what the patient needs. So that is the writing task. Okay, this much is about one case note. Okay, so we'll see how we need to write the letter. Okay, so in the writing letter, as I said, we have 5 minutes for reading the case note. Whole case note we need to read. For that we have 5 minutes time. Okay, so after 5 minutes, we have 40 minutes for writing. Okay, so here the important thing in writing means we need to select which one is the relevant point and which one is the irrelevant point for the reader. To whom we are writing the letter, that person is the reader. Relevant point means, see, in India, nurses are doing all the work. But in European countries, the physiotherapy is doing only his work. That means he will provide only the physiotherapy services. Nurses will do only her work. For example, wound dressing, medication monitoring, vital signs checking. So these are the nurses' work. Dietitian's work, only she will provide only dietary informations. Okay, then doctor's work, they will provide the treatment. They will decide about the management. That means one particular person, that particular work only they will do. That is the relevant point. If you are writing letter to the nurse, she won't give any physiotherapy services. For the nurse, the physiotherapy thing is irrelevant points. So that is the relevant and irrelevant points. Okay. See, as I said, 5 minutes we have reading time. See, after the 5 minutes, what you need to do, soon after reading, don't start writing. Okay. So what you need to do, once again, you can, now after the 5 minutes, you can use pencil. Okay. So with the use of pencil, select which one is the relevant point and which one is the irrelevant point. If it is relevant point, take it right mark. Okay, if it is irrelevant point, make it into mark. Do it this one after reading. Okay, so that easy when you are writing the letter. Otherwise, when you are writing, again you need to read and you need to think whether this sentence is relevant point point for the reader, or whether this is irrelevant, then again you people only wasting the time. So in order to prevent that, soon after reading, take the pencil and tick it off which one is the relevant point and which one is the irrelevant point. So it will take only 2 to 3 minutes. After that, start writing. Okay, so how the letter is? See, this one is one sample letter paper. Okay, this one is one sample letter paper. So here first we need to write the date. Okay, date. See here how the date written. The date is in the number, digit, month is in the word, and year. Okay, so don't use like 20/5/2023. Don't use this format, because for the reader it is very difficult to find out. If you are writing year, the month is like 01, the slash and 01 it make like similar, so it's very difficult to read whether it is digit or whether it is date or month. So try to avoid writing this format. Instead of this format, try to use this format: date in the digit, month in the word, and the year. So in between use some little gap after writing each date, month, and the year. Okay, so here which date you can write in the letter. So here in the case note they will be mentioning today's date. Okay, they will be mentioning today's date. I hope you can see today's date. That means not the present date. In the case note itself, the same word they are writing: today's date 01/02/2022. Okay, so this date they are mentioning, today's date. Assume that today's date. So that date you can select here. Okay, otherwise they will be mentioning discharge date. Otherwise discharge date, or else DOD, date of discharge. Okay, in the case note there is no today's date, not mentioned today's date, or not mentioned discharge date, or no date of discharge. So in that time what you can do, which date you can select means, see this case note there are many date: year 1 date, year 1 date, year 1 date, year 1 date. Okay, there are many date. So what you can use means the last date. Okay, the last date. If in the case note they didn't mention any today's date, date of discharge, or discharge date. So what you can do, see the last date. See the last date, that date you select. That day we are writing letter to the reader at the end, during the discharge time. During hospitalization we are not writing letter to any the particular person. Okay, at the time of discharge only we are writing, or we are referring that patient to someone else. So at the end, what is the date that you select as a today's date. Okay, so I hope you understood how you can select the date. Okay, after that address. After that address, that means reader's address, to whom we are writing that patient, that person address. Okay, so see in our case note at the end we have writing task. We have writing task, to whom we need to write that person address they are writing in the writing task. Okay, so how you can write the address? Okay, first the person name, the reader name. First the reader name, then his designation, that means his profession. First reader name, then his designation, then the address, that means place name, in which hospital he is working, then the place name, and the PIN number. If it is they have mentioned the PIN number, then mention the PIN number. Okay, I hope you understood. Okay, so here the reader name, then his designation, then the place name. Okay, so that address they will be mentioning in the writing task. Suppose the reader name not given, only they have mentioned the designation. Okay, for example, write the letter to the community health nurse. Okay, write the letter to the community health nurse, John's Street, Ekibin. They have mentioned only this much. So there is no name in the writing task. So how you can write? If no name in the address, add the. Okay, the, T-H-E, the community health nurse. Okay, if they mentioned only the designation, in front of that add the. Not only for community health nurse, the physiotherapist, the dietitian, the social worker, okay, the doctor. Okay, if no name, then add the. Okay, after that John's Street, Ekibin, whatever address they have given, the same thing you mention. Okay, so this much is about the address. If name given, write the name, then designation, then the place address. If name not given, then use the in front of the designation, the community health nurse, then the place name. Okay, I hope you understood how you need to write the address. So address it will be mentioning in the writing task. Okay, after that, dear. If suppose if you are writing letter to the community health nurse, there is no name, only the designation they have mentioned. So what we can write? Dear community health nurse. What you mentioned in the address, the same thing you need to write here. No short forms. Dear community health nurse. C is capital, H is capital, N is capital. Suppose you are writing to the physiotherapist. Dear physiotherapist. P is capital. Dear dietitian. Okay. Suppose if they have given the name. Okay. So Dr. Robert Wilson. Two name. The reader has two name. Dr. Robert Wilson. When you are writing here the salutation, write here Dear Dr. Wilson. Second name, not the first name. In the address, Dr. Robert Wilson. When you are writing here, Dear Dr. Wilson. Dear salutation, Doctor, then the second name, Wilson. After that put comma. Understood? Suppose if no name, dear physiotherapist, dear social worker. Okay. So here one thing in the address. When you are writing the address, first letter of each word, it should be capital. Okay. First letter of each word, it should be capital in address. Okay, all first word it should be capital. Okay, next dear, whatever they have mentioned in the address. Suppose if only one name, for example, Dr. Robot, right? Dear Dr. Robot. If two name, then only you need to select the second name. But don't forget to write the salutation. Okay, then put comma. Okay, so next, say, after writing the date, leave one line. Next, write the address. Okay, if the address is too short, in the writing task, name, then again comma, then designation, or else first designation, then the name, then comma, address. But when you are writing, write the name first, then the designation, one by one you write it off. If the address is too short, one by one you write. If the address is too big, around 6 or 7 lines, last 2 lines you can put comma and you can write one more name, place name, or the pin number you can put. Okay, there is no full stop after writing each sentence. Okay, here only after writing dear Dr. Wilson, put comma. Okay, nowhere else the full stop or comma in the address. Okay, next we need to write the patient name. Okay, which patient we are referring. Okay, either you can write R-E. R is capital, E is small letter, or else R is capital, E is capital, like R-E, then 2 dot, like this. Okay, or else this way also you can write R-E 2 dot. Okay, then write the patient name. Patient full name we need to write. Okay, so usually they will be mentioning the patient full name. So in that, after writing the patient name, in the bracket they are writing the salutation also, whether Miss or Mrs. or Mr. Okay, use salutation, then write the patient full name. Suppose in the case note, they didn't mention any salutation, but in the social history, they will be mentioning like patient is married, lives with his wife. Okay, lives with his wife. So we can mention like Mr. Okay, for example, for females. Okay, like they mentioned only Seema. Salutation not given, but in the social history, they will be mentioning like she is married, lives with her husband. So we can, without any doubt, you can use Mrs. Or in the case note, they will be mentioning like she is widow. So in that time also we can use like Mrs. Suppose in the case note, nowhere mentioned like salutation, Miss or Mrs. But in the social history, they will be mentioning like she lives alone. Only she lives alone. Not mentioned any married or widow, nothing. Just lives alone, but age is like 40. So don't decide about she is 40 and she may married. For safer side, use Miss. Okay, for safer side, use Miss. In the case note, if they didn't mention any widow or married, just they mention like she is single. Use Miss. Okay, in the case note, if they mentioned married or widow, without any doubt, you can use Mrs. Okay, then age wise, we need to select the salutation. For example, for the children, how we can use the salutation? If the age is 16 and below, if the age is 16 and below, no salutation. Baby, child, master, no. There is no salutation for the child is below 16 and below. Okay, only we are using whatever name they have mentioned, the same thing. Okay, if the age is 17 and above, if the age is 17 and above, then use whatever salutation they have given, or else how you need to select, just now I have told the same thing, you can follow. Okay, one more thing, the recent exam we saw, the patient is just 10 years old. The patient is just 10 years old, but the patient name is Ryan Robinson. Patient name is Ryan Robinson. Age is just 10 years. But in the bracket, they have mentioned Mr. In the recent exam, we saw Ryan Robinson, age, Mr. they have mentioned, but age is just 10. What we learned, if age is 16 and below, we can't use any salutation, just Ryan Robinson. But in the case note, if they have mentioned Mr., then we need to respect to that salutation. If we are using this salutation, then we need to use second name. Not in the writing the patient full name. When you are writing the body paragraph, so I will tell you later. So when you are writing the body paragraph, we need to use the second name. In detail, I will tell you later. Okay. So I hope you understood how you need to select the salutation. Once again, I am repeating. So if the age is 16 and below, don't use any salutation. Whatever name they have given, the same thing, you write it off. Suppose in the bracket, if they are mentioning the salutation, but the age is 10 or below 16, the same salutation you can use. Okay. Then if age is 17 and above, use salutation, whatever they have given. So usually they are mentioning in the case note. Okay. So next, after writing the patient name, down age. Okay, down you need to write age. Age, again okay. One thing you are writing, first one is reference. Patient full name you need to write, not a short name. If 2 name, 3 name, full name with salutation you need to write. Next is age. Okay, age. So when you are writing the age, keep it in mind which format you have used for writing the date. The starting we are writing one date, right? So which date we are writing the letter? The same format we need to use. In the case note, they will be mentioning in the digit only, usually like 04, 03, 1990. Okay, but when you are writing here, the age, whatever age they have given, like 56 years. 56 years. For example, whatever they have given, 56 years. 56, y is small letter, 56 years. No dot after that. Okay, suppose in the case note, age also mentioned, date of birth also mentioned. So in the case note, if they have mentioned age and date of birth, then give preference to date of birth. Select date of birth. Okay, so how you need to write date of birth means, date of birth. Okay, same reference, DOB, 2 dot, date of birth. As I said, what format you have mentioned here for writing the date, that same format. That means date in the digit, month in the word, and the year. The same format what you have mentioned first, the same format you have to use throughout your case note. Okay, so same thing you need to mention. For example, 03 March 2020. Okay, if the date is like 1 digit, add 0. As well as the first also, when you are writing the today's date, 0. If the date is 1 digit, add 0. Here also, date of birth is in 1 digit, add 0 in front of that. Okay, in the age and date of birth both also given, give preference to date of birth. After that, no dot or no comma. Okay. So I hope you understood. First is date, next is the reader address, then the salutation, then the reference, which patient we are referring, that patient name, then the date of birth or age. Any one we can select. Okay. Next, the main content is like purpose. Purpose means why we are writing letter to the reader. Okay. So before writing the purpose, there are many types of letters. Okay, referral letter, discharge letter, transfer letter, non-case and suspected case. Okay, so here referral letter means from one person to another person we are referring. For example, the patient now is under orthopedic surgeon. So here the patient complains about vomiting and headache. So due to that reason we are writing to neurologist. Means we are writing to one person, one healthcare professional. So that is the referral letter. Discharge letter means at the time of discharge we are writing letter. That means if the patient needed the same treatment, we need to continue. That means, for example, we are telling the community health nurse to provide the continuation of care. So that is the discharge letter. At the time of discharge we are writing the letter. So that is the discharge letter. Next one is like transfer letter. Transfer letter means from one hospital to another hospital. So for example, short-term care. So only for 2-3 days we are referring to some other hospital. From one facility to another facility we are shifting one patient for further treatments. So that is the transfer letter. Next one is like non-case. Non-case means all past history the reader knows. Only the present what happened that he doesn't know. So that is the non-case. All rest history the reader knows, only the present things what happened that he doesn't know. That is the non-case. Next is a suspected case. So suspected case means during the hospitalization they have done some investigations, they have given the treatment, but they have not yet confirmed the diagnosis. Still it is in question mark. So that is the suspected case. Okay, so this much is about types of letter we can see in OET writing. Okay, so for writing the purpose we have some sentence to use for writing each letter. But there is no difference for writing referral letter, discharge letter or transfer letter. For these 3 letters, starting we are writing like I am writing to refer. Okay, so in the purpose, which sentence we need to use? I am writing to refer. There is no difference in writing referral letter, discharge letter or transfer letter. These 3 letters we are using the sentence. How we need to start means I am writing to refer. See, in the purpose, 3 things. In the purpose, 3 things. That means 3 P's. 3 P's means first one is patient full name. First one, patient full name. Next one is like present problem. Then is purpose. That means when the reader is reading your purpose, for example, when we are writing letter to our relatives or friends, one intention we have, right? Maybe inviting for marriage or something else. Before writing letter we have one intention. The same thing when we are writing this letter, we should write the purpose. Then only the reader will come to know that why this patient referred to me. Okay, so purpose means we need to write the patient full name, so that when reading the purpose, the reader will come to know that what is the patient full name, why this patient referred to me, and what I need to do. These are the 3 P's we need to write in the purpose. Only 3 things. Okay, for purpose we have 3 marks. For 3 marks for these 3 things. Patient full name, no first name or no second name. Patient full name, what we mentioned in the reference. As I said, in the reference we need to write the patient full name with the salutation. The same full name we need to write in the patient full name. Okay, next present problem. for what reason this patient referred to me. And next is the purpose. Purpose means the reader, what he needs to do. So that is the purpose. Okay, so how you need to write the purpose? For example, for discharge letter, transfer letter or referral letter. So we are writing like, I am writing to refer for Mr. Robert D'Souza. For example, see, till that I hope you understood. I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, patient full name. Next, what we need to write? The present problem. How you need to select the present problem? In the case note, usually they are mentioning diagnosis. Okay, diagnosis, dementia. Okay, or else we can take like, dementia. Okay, in the diagnosis, they are mentioning like dementia. Okay, but they have done the investigations, they have given the treatment, then finally they came to know that patient is recovering. Okay, patient is recovering. See how you can select the present problem. So in the case note, they will be mentioning only dementia. So we can't mention like who has dementia. That is not a current problem, present problem. Obviously, the patient diagnosed with dementia, but here the purpose why we are referring now. What happened now for the patient? Patient already diagnosed with dementia, treatment given. Then what happened now? What I need to do? Okay, so that is the present problem. So how you can select the present problem? I will tell you. So I hope you can see this. Okay, see how you can select the present problem means with what complaint patient got admitted to hospital. Okay, after the admission, usually what we are doing examination. Okay, after the examination, we will decide what investigation needs to do. Okay, after the investigations, what we will do, what is the findings we will see. Based on that findings, we will diagnose his condition. After the diagnosis, we will start the treatment. After the treatment, we will check whether the patient is recovered or not. Okay, so we will start the treatment. After diagnosis, we will start the treatment, then evaluation finally whether the patient is recovered or worsened. Okay, that you need to select as a present problem. Understood? First you need to check with what complaints patient got admitted. After that we will do some examination. For example, vital signs we will check. We will do some blood investigations. Then here we will do under investigations like CT scan, like radiological investigation including blood investigation also. After that, based on the findings, we will diagnose his condition. After that, we will start the treatment or else we will start the management. And finally, we will evaluate whether the patient is recovered or not. That we need to select as a present problem. So, for example, suppose if you are writing letter to the community health nurse. So, dementia noticed, treatment given. Okay. In the evaluation, in the case note, finally they will be mentioning like he is recovering well. He is recovering well, or he is progressing well, or his condition has improved. That means we can decide he is recovering. Okay. So we can write he is recovering. So what is the present problem now? He is recovering from dementia. So for recovering, usually in the writing task they mention patient requires continued care. That means whatever treatment given during hospitalization, that is enough for the patient, that is effective for the patient. So that is the reason they are asking continuation of care. Okay, so how you can write? I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who is recovering from dementia. He requires continuing care and management. Understood? I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who is recovering from dementia. He requires continuing care and management. Okay, in the writing task, clearly they are mentioning to whom you are writing and what the patient is requires, like continued care. So instead of writing the continued care, you can select different word but meaning is same. Okay, if you are writing the same thing, they will be thinking that you are copying the same. So we don't have any much word collection. So in order to avoid that, use different word but the meaning is same. So you can use continuing care and management, or else instead of that word, some other word we can use, like ongoing care and management. Ongoing care and management, or else continuity of care and management. Continuity of care and management. See, in the case note, you read properly and decide whether the patient is recovering or not. Okay, in the case note, they will be mentioning like his condition has improved, or recovering well, or progressing well. So without any confusion, you can decide that he is recovering from that particular diagnosis. So you can write who is recovering from. Okay, so suppose if you are writing to the community health nurse, continuation of care they have asked in the writing task, but in the writing task they will be mentioned like she requires continuation of care, or continued care, or daily visits. That means we can decide like it's a home visit. That means the reader needs to go to patient house and need to provide the continuation of care. If either they will be mentioned like daily visits, daily care, that means every day or many days she needs care. So little changes in the purpose. So how you can write? If it is home visits, then you can write I am writing to request home visits for Mr. Robert D'Souza, who is recovering from dementia. He requires continuity of care and management. Okay, if many visits, how we can write? I am writing to request home visits for Mr. Robert D'Souza, no comma, no dot, who is recovering from dementia, full stop. He requires ongoing care and management, full stop. So 3 things: patient full name, present problem, who is recovering now, what needed, purpose, continuation of care. Suppose only one visit they have asked, only visit, he needs visit, visit no S. So what you can decide? It's only one visit. We are asking the reader to visit only one time. So we can write I am writing to request a home visit. A home visit. That means only one visit. I am writing to request a home visit to Mr. Robert D'Souza, who is recovering from dementia. He requires ongoing care and management. This is about recovering thing. Okay. So suppose here in the evaluation, condition is not recovered. Okay, they have diagnosed, treatment started, given also, but the recovery is not satisfactory. Okay, that time we can decide that the condition is worsened. Okay, in the case note they will be mentioning condition is not satisfactory, or he's not recovering well, or condition is not improved. So that time we can decide that the present condition is like worsened, not recovered. So usually for worsened things we can decide like they need further treatment. Okay, if the condition is worsened means they need further assessment and treatment. For that situation, how you can write the letter? How I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who has worsened symptoms of dementia. Okay, so in the case note, read properly. If anywhere if they have mentioned condition is not satisfactory or not improved, so decide that his condition is worsening. So that is the reason we are writing the letter to the reader to provide further assessment and start the further treatment. So in that situation, how we can write means, I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who has worsened symptoms of dementia. Full stop. He requires further assessment and management. He requires further assessment and management. Okay, in the writing task, if condition is worsened, they will be mentioning like he requires further treatment. Further treatment means he requires immediately when we are writing a letter to someone else, they can't start treatment immediately. They need to do some assessment. Even after many investigation they have done in the hospitalization also, if we are writing or if we are referring to the new person, he has to do some investigation. So based on that only he will start the treatment. So when you are writing the purpose, you need to write like further assessment and management. After doing assessment only they can start the management. Okay, so understood? If the condition is worsened, then you can write, I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who has worsened symptoms of dementia. He requires further assessment and management. Instead of writing further assessment and management, you can use some other word also. Further evaluation and intervention. Further evaluation and intervention, or else further examination and treatment. Okay, in the writing task they will be mentioning like assessment he requests or further treatment requests. Instead of copying that same thing, you can use like he requests further evaluation and intervention. Okay, I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who has worsened symptoms of dementia. Full stop. He requires further evaluation and intervention. Okay, understood? So this is if the condition is worsened. Okay, so next we can see like, okay, so here one more thing, when you are writing the letter, if the patient is like antenatal mother, okay, if the patient is antenatal mother, okay, they are the vulnerable patient, right? So antenatal mother, or if the age is above 80 or below 10, they are the vulnerable patient. That means they need more focus. They need immediate treatment. So that we need to mention in the purpose. So if you are mentioning that thing in the purpose, then the reader will come to know that little more we need to focus on this patient because they are the vulnerable patient. So antenatal mother, if the age is 10 or if the age is above 80. So how you can mention these things in the purpose? As I said, how we need to write the letter? I am writing to refer. Okay, for example, if age is 10 or 8, I am writing to refer Ryan Robinson, comma, aged 10 years, comma, aged 10 years, who is recovering from dementia, full stop. He requires continuing care and management. Only if the age is below 10. For example, if the age is above 80, for example, the patient age is 84, you can write, I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, aged 84 years, who is recovering from dementia. He requires continuing care and management. Okay, for example, if antenatal mother. Okay, antenatal, in the case note they will be mentioning how much the week is, like 24 weeks of gestation. Okay, so that we can decide the patient is like antenatal. For antenatal mother, you can write like this. I am writing to refer Mrs. Seema, an antenatal mother with 25 weeks of gestation. With 25 weeks of gestation, who is recovering from dementia, full stop. She requires continuing care and management. Understood? An antenatal mother with 25 weeks of gestation. Or else you can write an antenatal mother, then in the bracket 25 weeks. In that way also you can write. Okay, I hope you understood. Okay, next comes like non-case. Non-case means, as I said, all past history the person knows, but the present, what happened, he doesn't know. So that is the non-case. Okay, so for non-case, how you need to write the purpose means, I am writing to update you. I am writing to update you about the current health status of Mr. Robert D'Souza, who is recovering from dementia. He requires continuing care and management. Understood? The non-case, how you need to write? We are updating the current thing, because the past thing, everything the reader knows. Only the presently what happened, that he doesn't know. So that we are updating. So when you are writing the purpose, each word it has meaning. So don't miss any word. Write clearly, note down clearly and write properly. I am writing to update you about the current health status of Mr. Robert D'Souza, who is recovering from dementia. He requires ongoing care and management. Okay, this way you need to write the non-case. Okay, so I hope you understood how you need to write the purpose for non-case. Okay, next comes like suspected case. How you can decide whether it is suspected case or not. Okay, in the case note, they will be mentioning question mark, query, question mark, dementia. That means they are suspecting, not yet confirmed. Suspected case. Okay, so usually almost 99%, if the case note is suspected, if they have mentioned the question mark, then they are asking in the writing task like further treatment only. That means the reader needs to do further assessment and needs to start further treatment. So this is the suspected case. Okay, so for suspected case, okay, one more thing. In the case note, initially they will be mentioning like query dementia. Okay, after that they will start some treatment. They will guess maybe he may have dementia. Okay, so for that reason they will be starting some treatment. Okay, so after the treatment they will be doing MRI. Okay, they will be doing MRI. Listen carefully. Initially they will be mentioning question mark dementia. After that they will start some treatment. After some days they will be doing some MRI or CT scan. Okay, they will be mentioning like treatment, next MRI, dementia. Okay, see here MRI, dementia, no question mark here. That means they have suspected dementia. For that reason they have started some treatment. After some days they have done again the MRI. Then they confirmed it is like dementia. That means his diagnosis they have confirmed he has dementia. There is no question mark here. So in that situation we can't select that case is like suspected case. This is the confirmed case. Okay, only in the full case note only the question mark, not mentioned or not done. They have given treatment but not yet confirmed or not yet done any investigation or not confirmed in this problem. Then we can select it's like confirmed with this suspected case. So how you can write suspected case? The purpose how you can write means I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who is suspected to have dementia. He requires further assessment and management. Who is suspected, TED, suspected to have dementia. He requires further assessment and management. Okay, I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who is suspected to have dementia. He requires further assessment and management, or else he requires further evaluation and intervention, or else he requires further examination and treatment. Okay, instead of writing who he is suspected to have, you can use one more sentence also. So I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who is presenting with signs and symptoms suggestive of dementia. Who is presenting with signs and symptoms suggestive of dementia. He requires further assessment and management. Okay, so this is the purpose we can write for suspected case. Okay, so next in the case note they didn't mention any like recovery, that means not satisfactory or not mentioned, or recovery or improved, nothing mentioned. Okay, just dementia, they have started the treatment. Okay, not mentioned any worsened things, condition worsened or improved things, nothing mentioned. Okay, just they have diagnosed the case like dementia, they have started the treatment, they have done the discharge also. Okay, so in that case we can't decide it's like condition worsened or condition improved, or whether it is suspected case, we can't decide. Okay, so in that situation how you can write the purpose means I am writing to refer Mr. Robert D'Souza, who has dementia. We don't know whether it's recovering or worsened, so we can write who has dementia, or else who has been diagnosed with dementia. He requires continuation of care. So what they have mentioned in the writing task, that same we can write. For example, continuing care and management. Okay, either you can write who has dementia or else who has been diagnosed with dementia. Okay, if the case note they didn't mention any like condition worsened or condition improved, we can't decide whether it is recovering or worsened or suspected case. Just diagnosis they have mentioned dementia, and they have started the treatment and the patient got discharged. Okay, so in that case we can write like who has dementia, or else who has been diagnosed with dementia. Okay, so this much is about purpose. I hope you understood what I have taken till now. So first one is the date. So which date you need to select, that I have already explained it, so that you can just go through, then select, then the reader address, it will be there in the writing task. If the name is given, the same name you select, then the designation, then the place address, then dear, whatever here mentioned. If two name, write the salutation and the second name. Okay, then here if you are writing letter to the director or the manager, so in the writing task there is no name. Okay, name not given, only the designation they have given. Write the letter to the director, Johns Street, Ekipit. Okay, so how you can write here? Here same, the director, nursing home, Johns Street, Ekipit. Okay, here only for director or manager. If not, name not given, only designation if they have given means write dear sir bar madam, comma, dear sir or madam. This is only for director or manager. Rest all whatever they have mentioned in the address, the same thing we need to copy. For example, dear community health nurse. Each word it should be capital. In the address also, each word, first letter it should be capital. Okay, only for director and manager we are using like dear sir or madam. Rest all whatever they have mentioned in the address, the same thing. If two name in the reader name, we need to write the salutation and the second name. If only one name, select salutation and the first name. If no name, only designation if they have mentioned means write dear, then the designation, for example physiotherapist. Okay, then comma, reference, patient name, full name you need to write. So in that full name, salutation, how you need to select, usually they will be mentioning in the case note, or else if the age is 16 and below, no need to add any salutation. If the patient in the case note, if they have mentioned like married, lives with her husband means we can use it like Mrs. If not mentioned married, or just lives with her husband. If not mentioned married, just mention like lives with her husband. So in that situation we can't use like Mrs. because they are living together also. So we can use like, for safer side, Miss only. Okay, if they have mentioned widow or married, without any doubt you can use like Mrs. If the patient is single and if the age is above 17 and or else lives with husband, then we can use like Miss only for safer side. Okay, then the age or date of birth, any one you use. If the age and date of birth both also mentioned in the case note, give preference to date of birth. Okay, when you are writing the date of birth, don't forget to use the first format. Okay, what date in the digit, month in the word, and the year. Okay, next write the purpose. For each letter we have discussed already how we need to write the purpose. So this much is about the purpose. Okay, purpose, if the purpose is wrong, your whole letter wrong only. Okay, because if you don't know the purpose, then no use of writing the letter. So that is the reason when you are writing the purpose, be careful, think twice and write the purpose. In the purpose, 3 things we need to write: patient full name and the present problem, why we are writing letter to the particular person, and purpose, what the reader needs to do. Okay, after writing the purpose, okay, after writing the purpose, you just cross check with the address. Why means, so that you will come to know that whether this person is doing this work or not. Okay, here you are writing like who has vomiting and headache. He requires further assessment and management. But here, if you are writing to the physiotherapist, okay, if you are writing to the physiotherapist, address is like physiotherapist. Here you are writing like who has headache and vomiting. Then cross check. Whether the physiotherapist will treat for vomiting and headache? No. That means your purpose is wrong. Once again read the case note. For the physiotherapist, the purpose is different. Maybe he has mobility issues. So for that is the reason we are asking physiotherapist to provide some physiotherapy services. Okay, now I hope you understood how you need to select the purpose. After writing the purpose, you just cross check with the address whether this person is doing this work or not, so that you can confirm whether I have written the correct purpose or not. Okay, for the dietitian, if you are writing like patient underwent surgery, okay, who underwent total knee replacement surgery, he requires continuation of care. Okay, suppose if you are writing to the dietitian, what she can do for the surgery things? Nothing, right? So what we can write? He has some nutritional deficiency. She requires dietary assessment and management. So that is the purpose for the dietitian, not for the surgery things. Okay, so select. After writing the purpose, just cross check with the address. Okay, so this much is about OET writing, the layout and the purpose. So next we have body paragraph, social and past history, then recommendation paragraph, then the closing sentence. So that we can see in our next class. Okay, so in the letter, first we have layout, then the purpose, body paragraph we have, next the social and past history, next recommendation paragraph, then the closing sentence. So till purpose we have discussed now. So next class we can discuss about body paragraph and rest of the letter. Okay, thank you for watching my video.